Welcome to this episode of Ask the Guitar Coach, the only podcast where you get answers to all your guitar-related questions. If you're interested in developing your guitar skills and reaching your music goals, please send me an email at the email address ioannis@ioannis.org. That is IOANNIS at IOANNIS.org, so that I can let you know about all the different packages of elite guitar coaching and how you can get private coaching by me. Without further ado, let's go to our question for the day. Is it helpful for my guitar progress to play in several bands? So here's a really good question. I will try to answer to the best of my ability. However, I have to warn everybody that this is not going to be a popular answer. So let's examine the question, and then let's examine the beginning of the question. It says, is it good for my musical ability? Specifically, it says, is it helpful for my guitar progress? So we're not going to talk about whether it's a good idea, if it's fun to play with different bands, whether it's a good idea for your music education, let's say, but if it's helpful for your guitar ability or your music ability. So let's examine that. Now, here's the situation. In most cases, when you start playing with a band, the first couple of months are very challenging because now you have to learn a lot of new repertoire, you have to learn to play with new people, with new musicians, you have to learn to play with them and around them, meaning you want to complement their playing but not step on their feet. Now there's a lot of new repertoire, maybe there are different kinds of music, maybe you were used into playing, for example, metal, and now you're playing stuff which is more classic rock or more funk. So you're learning you're learning very fast, you're getting better, you're developing very fast. This stops around, usually, once again, there are obviously exceptions, but usually this stops around the 6-month mark. That means that after you play 6 months with a band, now you're in your comfort zone. You know the songs, you know the style, you play there and you have fun. Let me stress this, you are having more fun than before, but you are not learning anymore, you're not developing. It's not kicking your ass. You are comfortable. So what I would usually suggest is for my students, after around 6 months, to leave the band and go form a new one, find other people to play with. Now, for someone who's playing with several bands, this can be a much longer process because he cannot concentrate only on one band, he has to concentrate on 2 or 3 or 4 bands. What would be the ideal? Well, the ideal, as far as learning is concerned, once again, I am trying to make this very clear, is probably 3 bands. So let's take the following scenario. Someone who has done a lot of technical study on the guitar, so he doesn't have to do a lot of more technical exercise and stuff. He knows his scales, he knows his rhythms, he knows his chords, so he doesn't have to do a lot of studying at home, like the more boring, let's say, kind of study of learning stuff. And now he wants to develop his musical ability to play with other people. He can work with 3 different bands and then spend a couple of hours per day practicing the stuff that's relevant for that specific band. One band could be a top 40 band, another band could be a metal progressive band, and the third one could be maybe a country or a jazz band, whatever he's more interested in. The whole process of learning to play with these 3 different bands is going to do wonders for his playing in general, because he will be playing live all the time, he will be playing with different musicians, but he's going to be constantly changing the context, so he will never be both bored and also he's always going to be challenged with them, because there's always new things to learn and things that he needs to get better at, because the knowledge he will learn from one band does not directly translate to the other. For example, if you learn to play 20 jazz standards so that you're able to sit in with a jazz band, this knowledge does not directly translate to playing a heavy metal or progressive metal. You still learn how to develop be able to play standing up. You still learn things like being able to improvise better in both settings, but the licks, the sound, the actual music does not translate from one to the next. And this is a good thing. It's a good thing because now you're doubling your learning speed. So it's a very, very good thing if you're trying to learn to become a better guitar player as fast as possible. So my advice, if you want to play in different bands so that you will learn fast, I would say pick anywhere from 1 to 3 bands, 3 being the maximum, 1 being obviously the minimum, and then take it very seriously and stay with a specific band for around 6 months or until you become really, really comfortable with their music and their playing style. And then around 6 months, move to another band so that you can continue to develop your playing. Once again, I'm repeating it, I think for the 3rd time, but it's definitely important so that I can kind of save some time on all the comments I'm gonna get in the video. We're talking about using playing with the band as a tool to become a better musician. We're not talking about fun or about creating new interesting music. We're talking about learning a skill set. So once the 6 months have gone by, this skill set from the specific band in most cases has been completed, so you can move to the next level. So there you have it. I hope this was helpful. It was kind of a complicated issue, but I want to believe it has been clarified a little bit. And I will see you on the next episode of Ask the Guitar Coach. Bye bye.